Don't do this. The full sit-up is a dead exercise. The more episodes go up, the more ideas come to my mind. And honestly, that's thanks to you. In the past weeks, we've touched on topics that went way deeper than I expected, like the videos on sugar consumption and smoking. Just read the comments under those. I had no idea I would get reactions so strong they'd almost make me cry. Don't ever do that to me again. No! But seriously, it meant the world to me. The trust you've shown, the stories you shared, they hit me hard. And the support you give each other in the comments, that was pure, zero chocolate, sprinkle on top, protein shake level community power. But since you know me cover everything that's lifestyle related, today we are circling back to the educational side. And we are going to address something that honestly makes me shake my head every single time I see it, because it's still being taught in schools and I still see it pop up in workouts. And that is the sit-up. Sit-ups, but haven't there already been a million videos made about them? Exactly. That's why in this short episode, we are going to finally set the record straight. Stick with me. Why is the full sit-up a dead exercise? When I say sit up, I'm not talking about the modern ab exercises most people do today and that we've already covered here on the channel. I'm talking about the classic old school gym class sit up, lying flat on the floor, curling your entire spine and pulling yourself all the way up into a seated position. Just the other day, I saw a girl doing a 30-day challenge where she had to crank out 100 of these every single day. So yes, it's still around and very much a real thing people are doing. I get the logic. On paper, it sounds convincing. The bigger the range of motion, the better, right? Well, not exactly. From a biomechanical perspective, this movement reinforces a really bad habit. You're repeatedly flexing your spine forward and loading your invertebral disc with massive shear forces. Think of it like squeezing one side of a sponge over and over again. Eventually, the liquid seeps out. With your spine, that liquid is the disc material, and the end result can be disc injuries or herniation. So far makes sense? But let's go further. Physically, the logic is flawed. Your abs work hardest only the first 30 to 40 degrees of the movement. After that halfway point, your hip flexors take over. In other words, instead of training your abs, you're overloading your hips and lower back. And that's why so many people feel pain in their lower back after sit-ups, not in their abs. And yes, I get flooded with comments asking why this happens. Here's your answer. It's a chain reaction. One mistake leads to the next, and the end result is usually pain. This is exactly why we always break exercises down this deeply. Because I don't just want you doing random movements, I want you to understand for life what's really happening in your body. Okay, physics check. Let's move on. From a training theory perspective, sit-ups are a complete dead end. The goal should be to strengthen, tighten and stabilize your abs. But the full sit-up is basically just a poorly executed hip flexor exercise. On top of that, the movement is usually done with momentum. Think about it. How many people do you see yanking themselves up, throwing their arms forward, powering through with momentum instead of control? That's why sit-ups miss the key ingredient of effective ab training: mechanical tension. Without that, you are not really building muscle, not gaining real strength, and in the long run, you are only setting yourself up for injury. Now, if you are being brutally objective, yes, sit-ups can build some muscle if you do thousands of them. But ask yourself, at what cost? How much time, how much wasted energy, and how much risk to your spine and joints? This is not the path you want to be on, trust me. The funny thing is, sit-ups are still being taught in so many places as the basic ab exercise, even though modern sports science has known for decades. Not only are they ineffective for your abs, but they can actually be harmful. So if your school is still making you do them, show this video to your PE teacher. Just casually, like you stumbled across the info. Alright, but how can we do this in a much smarter, safer and more effective way? Adam, what's the solution I should show my teacher? That's exactly what we'll break down in the second half of this video. These are the reasons why you can take training technique lightly. If you are doing the wrong exercises, you are not just holding back your progress, you could be actively hurting yourself. That's why I built the Define-A-Form app, so you don't have to guess what works and what doesn't. Inside the app, you will find guided workout programs for both men and women, from fat burning to ab and glute focused plans, plus challenges and hybrid workouts. Mindset content to keep your head in the game. A 10-part nutrition guide so you always know how to fuel your body. And a recipe collection with nearly 40 meals, complete with exact macros so you never have to stress about what to cook. And if you are ready for the full transformation, there's the most popular program of all, the 20-week total transformation plan, which takes you through the journey step by step. The solution. How I do it. In my own training, this is how I approach abs. Over the years, it's become crystal clear in my mind, and because of that, I managed to build abs that aren't just strong, but aesthetic and well-defined. If you want the same, this is exactly the principle you need to build into your own routine. First, understand this. The abs, the rectus abdominis, what you see as the six-pack, are actually one single muscle. Those 6 or 8 blocks you see aren't separate muscles, but tendinous inscriptions dividing the muscle into sections. That's why the entire muscle always works together, but you can still emphasize different regions depending on the exercise. Second, don't slack on it. I know it sounds obvious, but stay with me, it's logical. We all know the feeling. You smash a hard workout, you've emptied the tank, you're lying there exhausted, and then you realize, oh, abs are still waiting. And most of the time, you skip it. You tell yourself it gets enough indirect work already. And that's where you're wrong. If you truly want defined abs, you can't just blow it off. You've got to push through and give it the focus it deserves. How I do it? I break the work into 3 main groups. First, the upper section, crunches. This is what most people hit automatically whenever they do sit-ups or crunch variations. The key here is bringing your chest closer to your pelvis. In practice, that means standard crunches, wall crunches, or resistant band crunches. If you do it right, the upper section of your abs is the first thing you will feel working. Second, the lower section, leg raises. This is the part that most often gets left out, but it's what makes a six-pack look truly complete. Here, you are pulling your pelvis toward your chest, not moving your torso, but tilting your hips. Leg raises on the floor, hanging leg raises, or reverse crunches are perfect for targeting this area. Third, the obliques, rotational and lateral movements. They give shape to your waistline and create that athletic look. Here, trunk rotation and side bends are the key. Think Russian twists, side planks, or hanging oblique raises. The idea is to add twists, rotations, or side stabilization. If you train these 3 areas separately, your abs will finally get the kind of stimulus that builds not just strength and stability, but the aesthetic and defined look everyone wants. And believe me, it's 1,000 times more effective than doing endless sit-ups that just wreck your lower back. And now, specifically for the ladies, I get this question a lot about the obliques, and you are right to ask, because if you train them super heavy and with lots of resistance, they can actually thicken the waistline, which is usually less aesthetic for women, especially if your goal is that classic hourglass shape. That's why I recommend you focus mainly on the upper and lower sections and only train the obliques moderately. It's enough to add them in a stabilizing or shaping work, but don't make them the main focus. This way you will build a tight, slim waistline without losing that athletic look. If you are not sure how to do a proper crunch, I made several videos on that. You can check them out here. And if you would like me to make a video on leg raise progressions or go deeper into oblique training, let me know in the comment and we can break it all down together. And guys, if you want to know exactly how much, how often, and how to structure these exercises into your training, don't forget to download the Define and Form app. You can try a few workouts for free, and once you realize it works, you will unlock the full system with a premium membership. I built it specifically to be accessible to anyone, and right now you can even get it at a discounted rate. The yearly premium is for those who really want to commit to their progress, and once you do, your growth is guaranteed. So go explore the app, try out the free workouts, and then join the premium circle, where thousands have already taken the step. And remember, I don't want you to just buy, I want you to decide. That's it for this short video. I hope you found it helpful. Write in the comments if you are still doing full sit-ups, whether on your own, at school, or even with friends. And if you got video ideas, make sure to drop those as well. If you would like to learn what smoking actually does to your body, how it affects your performance, your mindset, and your overall health, then check out this video here. A huge community has already formed in the comments under it, and many people have actually quit smoking because of that video, sharing their journey step by step. If you are in a similar situation, it might help you too. See you next Sunday with a brand new episode where we won't just fix your training, but your whole lifestyle as well. And finally, it's great to see this line making more and more sense. Training is just the first step. The real change is you.